Hi, so this is like take 47, and this is mostly done. And the reason for that is because all the other takes took like a million years, and this is supposed to be a tutorial and not a speed paint, and also because I don't know how to edit my videos. But anyways, I am drawing Gloom, and so this was kind of where I started off. With a sketch like this part, very loose, very just there. And I was trying to just draw it with my tablet and make kind of a weird little geometric style. That really wasn't working, so I gave up, and I've been using the polygonal lasso tool, which I can't pronounce ever because I live inside of a corn. And so I ended up with lines like this. And the way that I do that is I just kind of make a shape, a little shape, like there's Pac-Man. And I fill it with, for the lines, I just had it fill to black. And there we go with that. And then if I needed to like cut it down and make it look like different, I would just go through, and I can just backspace on that or whatever. And then, but what I've been doing for the colors is I'll like select that, fill with a color, and then just fill that with a color. And then if I want to do some shading on that, I'm going to take that color. And what I'm doing to select this color is I hit Alt and I hold down on Alt, and then I'm just going around, and anything I touch I can pick up its color. And to do shadows, I'm going to take that color and I'm going to make it not necessarily darker, but I'm going to make it colder, which I can use up here with my sliders. And so that would be going towards purple or such. And so that could be a shadow. If I want more shadow, more values, I can keep going down. But let's say that I want highlights of this. So I'm going to select this, and I'm just showing you how I can use, like, it's only going to go in there. So I'm going to take this color and I'm going to make it warmer, and then I can keep going up as far as I want. And I mean, I could also do that through, like, okay, there's my color, and then I would make this a little bit lighter, not a whole lot, and then make it warmer, and then so I can do my colors that way manually. A good thing about using the polygonal lasso tool, why can't I deselect? Okay, is that, okay, let's say I'm gonna draw like an apple here, and I'll make it, that's already kind of red, deselect that. Let's give it some leaves. Yeah, I know, I'm just screwing around here. There's a leaf, okay, and so I want to add in a background, but I don't really want to touch the apple, so I'm going to, well, what I could do is, if I were still holding that apple, let's just simulate that I still have that hold on it, or whatever. Okay, and so I'm going to go up and I'm going to hit select inverse, and so the only places that I can color to put a background is around where I put that selection. So that'll become more useful as I show this in a second with the coloring. So yeah, I just set up some very geometric lines with a lot of variance, and you gotta have your line variance, man, so things look interesting and are easy to look at. Oh, and also, big tip here, look at how big my canvas is. My canvas is 1500 by 1200 pixels, and that is like the very smallest of a canvas that I will do. please, please make your art big. I want to see all the molecules. It will make me feel so much better, and I have bad eyes, so there you go. Alright, for the colors, I went, and here's some colors. Where I started off from was I took this color, this kind of teal blue, and I went up and I made it colder. And so I got like that more purplish blue. And then for highlights, which I didn't end up using, but I could have, I took that color and I made it a little bit lighter, and I made it warmer, so going more towards the green. And this is all like basic color theory stuff, but you know, that's for nerds. And then same deal up here for my reds and my oranges. I started off with this kind of a red color, and then I went up to this slider over here, which goes between more of a red and then this kind of a teal color. And so I took my starting color and I just made it a little colder. And then that's for the shadow. For the highlight, I take that color and I make it a little bit lighter, and I make it warmer by going closer to red. Either I can go up or I can go all the way down here and carry it even closer to the orange. I'm going to keep it pretty close though. So, yeah. And then my end highlight reflects that color better. But yeah, just that kind of stuff. Just mapped it out super rough. Cleaned it up, kept cleaning, was doing these weird shapes up here, not into it, got rid of those, kept cleaning, and here we are with this. And so what I'm doing is I take my polygonal lasso tool and I learn how to pronounce things by going to school. Nope, I select my color, and I make a fitting shape for this. And it's not exact, I'm just making something that looks like it works. I go over to fill, color, and I select my highlight. And there's that, and if I hit select inverse, then I can make sure I'm not coloring over that. Select my midtone, and then go whoop, and clean that up. And this is basically it. I'm still going to throw in a background, but oh well. I'm going to clean this up. Yeah, I'm still going to throw in a background. Not entirely sure what that is, and that's also bad on me because it's really good to have your background in mind before you start drawing something. And also, if something's going to take you longer than 5 minutes to draw it to its completion, it deserves a background. Really and truly, it deserves to have a decent size. Also, because like when everyone on the earth goes to a museum the million times that they do it, because I'm presumptuous. But anyways, the bigger pieces are the ones that you look at because they have that, like, I'm just gonna say resonance to them. It's what you look at because that's just how it is. And it's really useful if you do that for your work. And that's like a huge critique that I get and that everyone in the class gets. And it's like that when you do a 3D portfolio also, and I'm not a 3D artist, so this is just kind of me remarking, but one of their main points of like things that they have to achieve them, is that sense of like resonance with their thing. And the easiest way, like the oomph that you get when you see a certain piece, and I cannot remember how that was written out in the packet, but it definitely caught my eye. The easiest way to do this is to make big work, and that's just true. Like if you walk in, something that's like the size of your hand is not, and that goes for drawings too, something that's the size of your hand, you're not going to think about that as much as the piece that's like the size of you or the size of the room. And yeah, that's just an important point. And where on earth was I going with this rant? Anyways, so let me just, for the sake of it, I'm going to say that this gloom is sleepy and it's. Oh, yeah, and also I have these colors set to multiply, which makes this a little. The next step is going to be a little interesting. These are set to multiply. They are accurate to the color up here because it's on a straight white background. If I have a different color in the background, like what's about to happen, it is not going to look the same. And this is going under it, not on top of it. So that's what kind of happens. And then I can go up, and if I want to like actually deal with that, I'm going to decrease my saturation. And so like if I were doing something where it's out at night, this, it could be useful to do something like that because that really sets the mood. But yeah, I'm kind of trying to think how I should go about this. Because I need this to be not on the gloom. So I'm just gonna go like that. And then, alright, what kind of a background do I want? And also, I am going to pull my colors from other parts of the piece whenever I can. And the reason for that is that it really draws your entire piece together. I have more tips on that in a second. So you're not going to want this huge big white thing going around it when you actually do it. I'm just doing it because I am lazy and I don't want this to run 500 hours. Okay, so I'm gonna do kind of that kind of color. And even if you're not pulling the exact same color from part of the piece, it's good to at least like base it off of that color so you're not going all the way out into left field. So like what I just did with that color was I selected the purple from the body shadow and I made it a little bit darker and a little different. And so then like that would be better than me just trying to come up with a different dark purple. It's good. It gives you a good point of reference, and that's also like a really important thing when you use greens, to be honest. And I've heard from somewhere that I can't reference right now because I don't know. Yeah, because greens are like the absolute hardest, basically, to do, and because there's just so many versions of green or something. And so like it's good to select your greens from another part of your piece, really and truly. And like yeah, that's basically how that works. So you could just throw a background in here, and I'm just saying pull from your piece. It'll make things easier on you. Trust me. I'm trying to do a little moon thing up here because I'm silly. You know, the moon. That's what the moon looks like. Sure. Okay, and then here is where we get into the fun stuff. I have another layer up here set as a clipping mask. So let me show you how that looks when it's not a when it's not a clipping mask. I'm gonna release the clipping mask, and oh, there it goes everywhere. We don't want that everywhere. We just want that on our actual colors. So I'm gonna go over here, create clipping mask, and there it is, nice and clean, just on the layer below it. And then that won't be visible unless the layer below it is visible too. But if I turn that off, the layer below it is still visible. So that's fun, and that's just set to multiply. I can do another. I'm going to make a new layer, and I'm going to set it to overlay. And what color would look good on this? Let's go with some kind of a purple. and I'm gonna set that to overlay. And this is not how saturated I would want it. So like something better than that would probably be a little lighter, perhaps. Yeah, that looks better. That's maybe a little bit too green, but you know, you can go in and it's a really good way to draw your colors together and to make them look, ooh, that's a little too saturated. Make everything just look like it is supposed to go together. That's still way too saturated, but I'm just giving some examples. This is also how, like, to open another piece. Hold on. I'm gonna go look for this one piece of John that I'm working on, but I think it's just on my desktop. Sorry for the furries. It's a really big file, so it's because it's like traditional work that I scanned. Okay, so where was the decent version of this? Okay, so we have this going on, and there's backlighting up here from the window. This is really rough, so like it is what it is. But what we're gonna want to do, and it's visible in some of my other pieces. Ignore the fact that DeviantArt's about to give me this pop-up. I hate DeviantArt. Fuck DeviantArt. I'm kidding, but I'm looking for some good examples of this thing I'm about to show in a finished. Okay, so when you look at this around here, you can see some of the backlighting. I did this really rough because it was the middle of the night. Also, when you look here, you're going to see it too. You're seeing this backlighting. It's good. It's all good. And so what I'm going to do for that, and I do it a lot with my Art Rage app, it's where I kind of learned how to do it, is I'm going to take, like, up here, I generally pick kind of a warm orangey peach tone kind of thing, and let's color it a little bit around the Jonathan. Around that. I'm just using my mouse because I've been using my mouse this whole time. Alright, and just gonna kind of, this is gonna be the couch, so like just kind of screwing with that, and then I'm gonna go over here and set it to color dodge. And this was not really a good color for me to use, so I'm gonna go up and let's make that lighter, and that's kind of a better color. Let me set that to normal. So like a tan. That's generally what I use, and then you can use, oh, okay. You can use that to just kind of like screw around. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Oh, I forgot I have my, like, color picker is, like, bad right now. So I would go and I would add more of that. And this is all to just give some backlighting. And I'm just going to go and blur this so it looks like less of a hot mess. But, like, you know, it just gives a very glowy kind of a feel. And I already have some of that from earlier. But yeah, so you can do, okay, whatever. You can do some cool stuff. And so, well, do I want that under there? Does it look any different? Yeah, you know, whatever. And then I can adjust that to my liking. I'm going to make that a little bit less bright so it's not so in your face. And that's basically it. A lot of the times I will go and I will take some kind of a photo, or I used to do this more than I do now, but take some kind of a photo to use as like a texture. And for that, I will put it on the top, and I want something interesting up here, so I'm going to put the clouds there. Um, and I'm just gonna go down like this until I see something that intrigues me. Like color dodge, that's kind of interesting. I'm not gonna stick with that, but it's cool. And sorry that this is very Photoshop specific. You can get settings like this with a lot of other art programs, but I know it's like limited. And I'm kind of liking this. It's the divide setting. I'm definitely liking the direction that that is going. And I also like how when I have that on it, your shadows are down here and your highlights are up here, which is exactly what you need to do. But yeah, that's basically it. A lot of people will like to go and take new layer, and I'm just gonna put like a light gray on here, and I'm gonna set it to overlay. How's that doing? Okay, and then I'm gonna go filter, add noise, and then I can add some noise to this, which is kind of an interesting texture thing. And I don't mean like the lightning is the main thing. It's like just the texture aspect of it, because there's different ways you could go about that. So yeah, you could use any kind of mixture of that, and yeah, it's a good time. I hope this was kind of helpful. Oh boy, I'm definitely doing something over here. I hope this is helpful, a little enlightening. Um, it's definitely 21 minutes long, but we can go deeper. Anyways, thanks. Bye.